Hi everyone, welcome to the Get Certified series. I'm Bhargavi from the Google AdWords team, and over this 6-part series, we'll be talking to you about everything that you need to know to successfully take the Google Partners exam and get certified. Today, I'll be walking you through the AdWords search exam. Now, do keep in mind that this is a live event, so if you've got any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box and I'll try to answer them either through the course of this session or towards the end of it. You'll also be receiving an email with a link to all of the resources that we discuss, as well as a recording of this live training. So let's jump right in. Our agenda for today is around, first off, why search advertising? Next, I'll walk you through how you can set up your first campaign, and then discuss bidding strategies. Now, towards the end of this presentation, we will be discussing how you can measure your search campaign's performance. Now, first off, why search advertising? The consumer journey itself is broken down into hundreds of intent-driven micro moments. Now, in a world where a person is probably picking up their phone about 150 times a day, this is where you want to be. And take an example of something like an I want to watch moment. Maybe you're thinking about your favorite TV show. The first thing that you'd probably do is walk up to your computer and look for your favorite episode or for your favorite clip. And just like you, about 60% of people do prefer searching online versus live television. In a similar manner, you've got plenty of I want to go, I want to buy, and I want to do moments that you need to be present for. Now, if you look at the screen, here are a couple of trends and opportunities that we've identified, which should help you understand the enormous growth potential in search advertising. Now, first off, let's go through how you can set up your first campaign. You'll first have to know the different types of campaigns, and there are 6. The 3 that you see on your screen right now are the search network with display select, a search network only campaign, and a display campaign. Now, a search network with display select means that you can set up a campaign that will reach your users across the Google search network, as well as across particular websites on the Google display network. While a search network only campaign and a display network only campaign is exactly what the title suggests. It would showcase your ads across the Google search network and search partners, while a display network campaign would let you showcase your ads across the Google display network. The next 3 types of campaigns that you see are a universal app campaign, shopping campaigns, and video campaigns. Now, universal app campaigns let you promote your app through the Google search network, display network, Google Play, and YouTube, while a shopping campaign allows you to use data that's within your Google Merchant Center to sell your products on Google Shopping. Video campaigns will allow you to create your own videos or pull out videos from your website and showcase these on YouTube as well as across the Google Display Network. Next, let's discuss how you'd organize your AdWords account. So think of your AdWords account as a canopy right on top. Assuming you're, let's say, an online electronics store, and your 2 major product lines are budget televisions and budget cameras. Now, what you do is separate these 2 into 2 specific campaigns, one for the televisions and one for the cameras. Under this, let's say you've got particular variants of the TVs that you're selling. You'd have something like flat screen TVs and plasma TVs. Now, you'd create a separate ad group for each of these, and each of these ad groups come with their own unique keywords, landing pages, as well as the ad text that's customized to the products that you're trying to sell. Your next step would be choosing a particular ad format. So you do have to keep in mind that there are particular ad formats that work with different campaign types. An image ad, for example, can only be used in possibly a display network campaign or a search network with display select that does allow you the functionality of showcasing an image ad. So let's go through each of these ad formats a bit more in detail. Now, the first type of ad that we're going to be discussing is an expanded text ad. Now, these text ads have 2 headlines and a description line that allows you to describe your product or your business to the best of your ability. Now, when you're creating your ads, it's always best to keep in mind any AdWords policies, because Google does make sure that your ads comply with editorial and professional standards that are lined out within the policies. The next type of ad that we're going to be discussing is a responsive ad. Now, responsive ads adjust their size, their format, and their appearance to appear on basically any ad space that is available across the entire Google search network. All you'd have to do is possibly put in a couple of components, things like your business name, a logo, a URL, and the AdWords system will just do the rest for you. Next, we're going to be discussing image ads. Image ads, like I mentioned, can be created through picking out images off of your website, or you can create custom image ads. And now these will allow you to showcase the most important aspects of your products or the service that you're trying to sell through images that you can showcase across the Google network. App promotion ads are of two types. You've got app engagement ads and you've got app install ads. Now, the key difference between the two is that an app engagement ad would serve to users who've already downloaded your app. So for example, let's say user A has already downloaded your app and they're looking for a service that your app already offers. So when they do search for that particular service, your app would turn up right on top where you'd be able to open up your app and let's say complete a booking through your app. While an app install ad does exactly the opposite. It allows you to reach out to new users to entice them to download your application. Now, call-only ads are a particular ad format that allows users to directly connect to your business without having to go through your website. So these ads only appear on devices that are capable of making a call, a mobile device preferably, or in some cases, tablets too. And then we've got shopping ads. Now, shopping ads allow you to showcase a variety of products which you upload within your Google Merchant Center. And it automatically takes in the product title, the description, the price, as well as other attributes that you've defined within your Google Merchant Center. And the best part about this is that you don't have to create an individual ad for every product that you are advertising. All you'd have to do is create one single ad, and the system will do the rest for you. And the last major type of ad is a dynamic search ad. Now, dynamic search ads allow you to cater your ads most efficiently to your users in the sense that all you'd be putting in would be your description line as well as a bit more information on the ad, while the system itself would automatically update your headlines or your final URLs. A couple of additional features that you could take into account while creating your ads within each campaign are things like ad customizers. Now, ad customizers allow you to essentially customize your ads to particular devices that users are searching from, to a particular day or time when a user is searching for your business. And a good example of this would be something like a keyword insertion ad. So let's say you sell a lot of chocolates, and users may be looking for things like dark chocolate, they may be looking for things like white chocolate. And what a keyword insertion ad lets you do is input exactly what the user's search query is and allows you to showcase your ads like what you see on the screen right now. Now, ad extensions are a very important addition to your ads because it essentially allows you to expand the ad space that you're using and give users the most relevant information. Ad extensions come in two types, mainly manual ad extensions as well as automated ones. Now, the manual ones are the ones that you would have to create. And these could be things like call extensions and location extensions, which help a user identify your business best, while automated extensions are things like seller reviews or the number of previous visits. Now, this helps users understand information in relation to your website, and these are automatically generated by the AdWords system. So an important point to keep in mind here is that your extensions may not always showcase alongside your ads, but there are particular reports where you can see how often they have shown up and how often users have clicked in on your ads when your extensions have shown up with them. The last component that we're going to be discussing in terms of setting up your campaign is the landing page experience. So when a user types in a particular search query and they're led to a landing page that's the most relevant to them, that's probably going to incite them to take a conversion action or take a particular action on your website that could be favorable to you. So it's always best to keep in mind to have the most varied as well as relevant information to a user on your landing page to make sure that they are being led to the most relevant page on your website. A couple of other pointers here would be to make sure that the website load speed isn't too slow, as well as keeping your website optimized for both mobile as well as desktop devices. Next, we're going to discuss the sort of bidding strategies that you can use for each of your campaigns. First off, we should be discussing keyword match types. Now, keyword match types allow you to choose a particular search query and try and match it to exactly how a user is probably searching for your business. So the main ones that you see on your screen right now are things like broad match modifier, a phrase match, exact match, as well as a negative match. Now, each of these keyword types are crucial to your business in the sense that Something like a broad match keyword would allow every variation of the keyword that you choose to trigger your ad. So for example, using the same example that we see on the screen, let's say your search term was buy ladies hats, and you'd kept this in a broad match. Now this means that anything, any of these words, any synonyms of each of these words could still trigger your ads. So if someone typed in a query like buy women's hats or buy women's caps, now this would still trigger your ad because it's as broad a match as possible. While something like a phrase match requires you to have particular search queries as a particular phrase in a specific order. So you can read a bit more about these in the resources just been shared with you. And then we're going to go on to bidding types. So how you'd select your bidding type would be depending on what the focus of your campaign is for you. So if your campaign is focused on getting the most clicks, you'd probably go for something like a cost per click bidding strategy. Now, these again come in two different types with manual cost per click as well as automated versions of these. While if you were focusing on conversions, you take into account the cost per acquisition of each of these conversions. So you choose a bidding strategy that was more effective, that was more in relation to your conversions. So these are the main types of bidding strategies that the AdWords system offers to you. So Enhanced CPC, for example, takes into account your conversion data and tries to optimize what your bid is going to be depending on situations where the AdWords system has seen that you've received a conversion in the past. Target CPA is a sort of bidding strategy that helps you get as many conversions as possible while you set a particular target cost per acquisition. Maximize clicks helps you bring more clicks towards your business, which is advisable for something like a branding campaign where you'd like to get the word out about your business and tell people that you're there and you're available for them. Target search page location allows you to position your ads towards the top half of the search results, while target return on ad spend helps you maximize your conversion value while giving you a particular return on ad spend that you've already defined within the AdWords system. And target outranking share allows you to automatically increases or lower your bids to help you outrank a particular domain that you're looking to do a little better than. The next thing to take into account are bid adjustments. Now, bid adjustments give you a bit more of an advantage in terms of the locations that you're targeting, the times of day or the hours of day, in fact, that you are targeting, as well as the devices on which you're showcasing your ads. So taking an example of something like a location bid adjustment. Let's say you were selling your products in area A, but there's a postcode 5 within area A where you'd like to focus more of your business and more of your advertising. You could add postcode 5 as an additional location and put in a bid adjustment of possibly 5 to 10%. So you can see that your ads will bid more aggressively in these particular areas when a user is searching for them from, let's say, postcode 5. And in the same way, let's say the user is searching at about 10 in the morning versus, and this is when you can see users are making the most conversions. So you can set up a custom ad schedule that will allow you to bid higher for these particular hours of every day, as well as, again, going into devices. If a user was searching from a mobile device, are they more likely to convert on a mobile device? And if so, you can always put in a device bid adjustment for these users. Next, we're going to discuss budgeting. Now, how budgeting works is that you set a daily budget for each of your campaigns. How the AdWords system works this is that it takes into account the average number of days present in every month. And according to the AdWords system, this is set as 30.4 days. So taking an example of a campaign for which you've set a budget of about $1 a day. Now, this means that the system is allowed to spend up to $30.4 throughout the course of the month. However, you may see on some days that there may be spikes in the cost, there may be a couple of dips in the cost, and the reason for this is because of a feature called over-delivery. Now, over-delivery allows the system to spend just a little bit more, about 20% more of your daily budget on a particular day, but you do have to keep in mind that by the end of the month, the AdWords system will not spend more than 30.4 times of what you've set as your daily budget. Now that we've discussed the entire account structure, as well as how you can set up your campaigns, as well as your bidding strategies, a couple of tools that you could use to measure your success are things like cross-account conversion tracking and remarketing. Now, cross-account conversion tracking allows you to track conversions across multiple accounts, as the name suggests, with just a single conversion tracking code, while remarketing allows you to showcase your ads once again to users who may have been on your website before. So a useful feature with remarketing is that you can create custom lists, things like people who've visited a specific section of your website, or cart abandoners, or even converters, assuming that someone who's already seen your business or already taken part in your service is more likely to come back and give you another conversion. And in terms of campaign management, these are 3 important tools that you could use. Now, AdWords scripts allow you to make automated changes to your account, things like changing your bids, pausing your ad groups, as well as adding particular keywords. While AdWords Editor allows you to download multiple accounts, make some changes offline, and you can also check these changes and then go ahead and post them into your live AdWords account to see how well they'd work. Another feature that you could use is AdWords API, which will help you automatically generate keywords, text, landing pages, or even create custom reports so that you can measure your performance depending on the date ranges that you select. Now, the last section of this presentation is going to be concentrated on how you can measure the performance of your AdWords account. The first thing that we're going to be looking at is the different kind of reports that you can create. Now, what you can do here is create reports with the metrics and dimensions that are most important to your business. Now, these could be things like maybe you need to see the cost of a particular campaign, or you'd like to isolate the number of conversions or the types of conversions that you're getting from a particular campaign. Now, if you access the Reports tab right at the top of your AdWords account, you should be able to create these reports, and you can either email them or schedule them on a regular basis, or just download them for your reference and in case you need them for anything else. Other ways to monitor your search campaigns would be to take advantage of reports that already exist within the AdWords system, things like the search terms report. Now, this is a very handy report in understanding the kind of terms that your users are using to particularly search for your business and what is relevant and what isn't to your business. What you can do is go through these reports on a regular basis and try and understand what search queries are triggering your ads. And if they're not relevant to your business, you can just add these as negative keywords. In the same way, an Auction Insights report would probably give you information on how well you are performing versus how well your competitors are performing. Now, we're down to the last section of this presentation, where we'll be discussing how you can optimize your campaign. So the key points to keep in mind here are creating great ads, as well as experimenting with your campaign. Now, in terms of creating great ads, it's always best to keep in mind, like we discussed earlier, AdWords policies, but to make sure that your ads are the most relevant to your users. You should highlight what makes you and your business unique, and try and customize your ad text as well as your keywords into the most likely search queries that people are going to be using, because a user is more likely to click on an ad that showcases exactly what he's searching for. Now, experiments with campaigns, how these work is that you can create drafts and experiments within your AdWords account itself. And you can run these, and in case these changes are doing well for your business, the best way to go about this is you can apply these changes to your AdWords account, and you can watch these go live and see the kind of results that they bring in. So we're now down to the last bit of our presentation, where I'll just be walking you through the exam logistics and resources. So the exam itself is about 120 minutes long, with about 100 questions for you to ask, and you need about 80% to pass this exam. So do remember that this exam is valid for the next 12 months. So I hope you all paid a lot of attention to this presentation, because we do have a couple of questions for you now. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to just go through the questions. I'll walk you through the questions for those of you who are still with us. And in case you've got any questions, feel free to pop them through, and I will try and answer as many as I can. So question 1, an advertiser can apply mobile bid adjustments at which of the following levels? A, campaign level, B, keyword level, C, account level, and D, ad level. So the answer here would be both A as well as C, since bid adjustments can be created as well as at the campaign level as well as the account level. Now, your next question is about AdWords Editor. AdWords Editor allows users to invite new users to share accounts, B, find relevant ads on Google partner sites, C, make live edits to multiple accounts simultaneously, Or D, access multiple accounts offline? The answer here is D. AdWords Editor allows you to access multiple accounts offline. So I hope you guys found that presentation useful. I will be taking a couple of questions now. So now, first off, can you explain more in detail about enhanced cost per click? Now, enhanced cost per click is an automated bidding strategy that takes into account, first off, the maximum cost per click that you'd like to set for each of your keywords, and as well as conversion data that is within your account. So how this works is that you would set a particular cost per click for your for each of your keywords, and the system will automatically increase this bid by about 30% or lower this bid by up to 100%, so that you can optimize your bid to showcase your ad in a situation where you have gotten a conversion in the past. Now, how this works is based on previous conversion data that's already within your account. And for an automated bidding strategy such as ECPC, we would suggest something around the range of about 15 conversions over the last 30 days, so that the system's got enough information to make sure that it's optimizing your bids to the best of its abilities. Now, the next question is, which report shows me how well my ad is appearing for a certain keyword? Now, you can, of course, take a look at the Keywords tab and check for impressions, clicks, conversions, and all of this does depend on the data that you're looking for. So, for example, if you're looking to see if which keyword is triggering, is getting you the most conversions, you could, of course, look straight in the Keywords tab, and under Modify Columns, you could go ahead and add a column for conversions and see which keyword is getting you the most conversions. While you could also try creating a custom report for yourself, which would show you specifically the keywords or maybe which particular ads itself are doing particularly well for you. And you could try and correlate these to the kind of keywords and the search terms that you may have seen within your search terms report. Now, the next question is, could you please explain manual CPC too? Manual CPC works in similar to enhanced cost per click, but in the sense that you would set a particular manual cost per click that you're willing to pay for a particular keyword. Now, this is essentially what is your bid for that particular keyword, and the AdWords system would bid up to this amount. So the great thing here is that you won't always pay exactly the amount that you have set as your bid. You only need to pay the amount that is required to beat your next competitor. And all of this will be a function of your quality score as well as the performance of your ads. Now, the next question that we have here is, which is the optimal budget to start a campaign? Now, this is probably not something that we can give you a definitive answer to, simply because budgets are dependent on the market that you're working in, the industry that you're working in, as well as the sort of products or services that you do offer. So to take into account something like an optimal budget, it would essentially depend on how much you're willing to pay, let's say, to get a new user onto your website or to acquire something like a conversion. So like I mentioned, there is no definitive answer to this, but of course there are plenty of resources online that should help you determine the kind of CPCs that you could be looking at, as well as the kind of budget that you could probably set for your first campaign. Now, how can you improve the expected click-through rate to improve the quality score? Now, quality score, of course, as you understand, is a mixture of a set of components that the system takes into account. But in terms of your click-through rate, landing page experience, which is one of the topics that we covered through the course of this presentation, is probably a pretty important factor here. Now, how this would help with your click-through rate is simply in the fact that, let's say a user is searching for your business and they and assuming that they see a keyword that they've typed in their ad text. So let's try using one of the examples that we've used already. Let's say someone's searching for women's hats, and the top of your ad text says, buy women's hats, available in multiple colors. Now, let's say they go on to now this increases the likelihood of a user clicking in on your ad and then going on to your web page. Now, when they go on to your landing page, let's say your page takes about 10 seconds to load or 15 seconds to load. Most users would probably exit the page much before you let it load. So landing page experience counts for a lot in terms of click-through rate, simply because it enhances a user's experience, and a happy user is more likely to come back and use your business once again. So we're just going to take one more question now, and let me just... All right, so the last question for today is, if particular keywords are not proving useful, but they are relevant, should we increase the bid on those keywords? Now, if a particular keyword is key to your business, that's obviously not something that you should remove, because assuming it's your brand name or assuming that it's a key product or a service that you offer, that may not be something that you would like to remove. But what you could do is consider changing up the keyword match type, or and experimenting with different keyword match types. So for example, something like a broad match version of a particular keyword may be giving you a lot of results or a lot of users who aren't directly looking for your business, while something like a broad match modifier or a phrase match, or in the most specific situation, something like an exact match keyword, would allow users to directly locate your business. So keyword match types definitely help here. You could also consider increasing bids for keywords based on their performance in terms of the ones that have the highest CTRs or the ones that have given you the most conversions. So I hope you all found this session useful. And in case you've got any other questions, we hope we'll cover them over the course of, like I mentioned, this 6-part series. And keep a lookout for the email that you'll receive with all the resources linked. And we'll see you next time. Bye.